Now we are going to study the mechanism of ascent of sap. Mechanism means various plant physiologists put forth various views to explain the exact mechanism of ascent of sap, just like we have studied in mechanism of water absorption. But in this topic, we are going to study only a single theory to explain the mechanism of ascent of sap, and the title of the theory is transpiration pull or cohesion tension theory. This theory was firstly put forth by Dickson and Joly in 1894, and it was supported by Renner in 1915 and Leavitt in 1969. Let us see the details of the theory, that is cohesion tension theory. This theory considers that the ascent of sap, that is movement of water from root xylem to the leaf xylem, is because of tension, is because of this pulling force which is created somewhere in other part of the plant body, and that pulling force is responsible for pulling the water from root to the leaf. What we call the transpiration pull means transpiration is responsible for loss of water, and to overcome that loss of water by transpiration, the xylem of the leaf pulls the water from the xylem of the stem, and like that xylem of the stem pulls the water from xylem of the root, like that. So that what we call the transpiration pull theory. Or cohesion tension means we know water molecules have strong covalent bonds, so they are strongly binded, so they cannot be broken down. So once the water from root to the leaf, it is a continuous column due to strong cohesive force, so it is called cohesion tension theory. This theory has certain assumptions. For example, first assumption of this transpiration pull theory is that ascent of sap is, it's a purely physical phenomena, and it does not use metabolic energy, but energy required for the upward movement of water, it is provided by transpiration. Means transpiration leads to the loss of water, and so that loss of water which is happening in the leaves, it is balanced by pulling the water from the xylem of the leaf, xylem of the stem. So what is the theory assumes? It is physical phenomena. It does not involve any direct movement, enrollment of energy, but the energy which is required, no doubt they consider energy requirement, and that energy required, it comes from the transpiration. Means where transpiration, it requires energy, and that energy is used for the pulling the water from stem xylem. So that is the first assumption of this theory. Second assumption of this theory is that according to this theory, water forms a continuous column from base of the plant to the its top, that is from root to the leaf, from root xylem to the leaf xylem. A continuous water column is there. There is no breakage. There is no any gap under, and this is because of cohesive force of the water molecules. So due to it remains a continuous cohesion tension due to transpiration pull. So water loss by transpiration, it develops a pulling force due to continuous loss. So continuously water is pulled from stem xylem. Stem xylem will continuously pull water from root xylem. Root xylem will continuously pull water from soil solution, like that. So a continuous chain of water cohesive molecules, it is observed So there is a continuous column. That is the second assumption. And third assumption of this theory, that water has high cohesive force and additive force. Cohesive force and additive force, both forces, they are strong in water molecules, and because of which water molecules forms a continuous column throughout the xylem tissue from root to the leaf. So a continuous column is observed, and due to that continuous column there is no breakage, so water is continuously conducted from root to the leaf. So these are the three important assumptions considered by Dixon and Joly for explaining the transpiration pull or cohesion tension theory. Now, how this theory works? What is the mechanism of this transpiration pull theory? For the ascent of sap, the role of mesophyll cells is very important. We know in mesophyll cells photosynthesis takes place because mesophyll cells are chlorophyllous. So when the mesophyll cells absorb water during the early in the morning daytime, when light falls, then first step, that is photolysis of water, takes place, and this photolysis of water causes breaking down of water molecules. Then water loss by mesophyll cells due to transpiration, it is adjusted during daytime as stomata remain open, so water is lost in the form of vapors through the stomatal open pores, and this open water loss, it is adjusted by mesophyll cells by absorbing water from the adjacent cells, and adjacent ultimately absorb the water from the xylem of the leaf. Now, due to what happens due to the continuous absorption of water from or transfer of water from one cell to other cell, what happens? The osmotic pressure of the mesophyll cells and xylem cells of the leaf increases because they are continuously absorbing their water and it is lost, it is evaporated. So all these mesophyll cells and xylem cells of the leaves comes under the tension, what we call increase in the osmotic pressure of these cells. As it causes tension on the xylem of the leaf, so to balance this tension, ultimately the water from the stem, it enters into the mesophyll and xylem cell of the leaves, so it is ultimately pulled, ultimately absorbed to overcome or to make the balance. Thus water moves upwardly by mass flow due to transpiration, means the water comes into the leaf cells or mesophyll cells because of loss due to transpiration. As loss takes place, so it will balance that loss by picking or by pulling water from the xylem of the leaf. Xylem of the leaf pulls the water from the stem, and like that from the root. So this is in short very simple mechanism explained by this Dixon-Joly theory. Then what are the evidences which proves that this theory is working? First evidence, magnitude of cohesive force of water is up to 350 atmosphere. It is cohesive force in the plants we have measured, and that cohesive force in plants, it was observed up to 350 atmosphere, and it is observed that this 350 atmospheric cohesive force is sufficient to pull water in the tall trees. Tall trees, for example, 100-feet tree. So from root to the 100-feet leaves high tree, this water can be pulled because the cohesive force of water molecules so far observed it was 350, and it is sufficient to pull the water in the plants. Second evidence, some scientists recorded osmotic pressure of mesophyll cells up to 20 atmosphere, and it is also quite sufficient for ascent of sap, means 20 atmosphere osmotic pressure of the leaf mesophyll cells in the leaf, that is sufficient to pull the water from xylem. So this is also another evidence. Then third evidence, experiment of evaporation through porous support theory. Means a porous part which is kept in the atmospheric air and it is attached to its lower side capillary. Then through the porous, as the loss of water takes place, the water through the capillary from the base, it is automatically absorbed. That is what we explains the transpiration point. And fourth evidence, it was given by Zimmermann in 1965. He pointed out that the potential difference of 45 atmosphere is essential for water transport in tall plants, and magnitude of cohesive force is up to 350 atmosphere so far recorded in plant. So this water potential difference is sufficient to rise waters in any tall tree. According to Zimmermann, 45 atmosphere is responsible for water transport in tall trees, and actually we observe 350 atmosphere. So it in the plants transpiration pool, by this method or phenomena, water can be transported from root to the trees having a height of more than 100 feet and others. So this is another evidence which proved that water is transported from root to the leaf by cohesive force theory. Though this theory has certain these evidences, merits, etc., it also has certain limitations, or what we say demerits or objections. What are the objections to this transpiration pool theory? First objection is that there is a chance of entering air bubble in the water column due to variation in temperature during day and night time. Means during day and night time we know temperature, there is variation, change in temperature, and due to increase or decrease in change in temperature there may be possibility of entry of air bubbles in the water column or in the xylem. And when there is a entry of air bubble, automatically that will break the cohesive force, that will break the continuity of the water column in the xylem from root to the leaf. So this theory doesn't explain if the air bubble is there, how the plant shows that cohesive force, how the plant xylem shows the transpiration pool. That is the major objection to this theory. Second objection is that the theory assumes that tracheids are more efficient to absorb or to transport the water as compared to the vessels. We know in practice at present angiosperms are the dominant flora on the earth, and angiosperms have vessels and tracheids, while gymnosperms, which are the evolutionary old plants, they have only tracheids. When we compare the present day situation, evolved plants are angiosperms, and as angiosperms are evolved with vessels, it means vessels are more important, vessels are more essential for the conduction of water. And so this theory, as it considers tracheids as a more efficient for conduction, but this is not proved because ascent of sap takes place through the vessels. It has been proved by scientists today, and it is a well-known fact. So these are the two major objections to this theory. And now, but nowadays most of the world over scientists of plant physiology consider this theory as more meritorious compared to the other theories. Oh, बंद कर